Good, sir. Okay. Good evening, everyone. Uh, my name is Arshil Chauhan, and I am currently pursuing my master's at KISS Hyderabad in the course of Public Policy and Governance. Um, on the behalf of Eklavya, I am welcoming today's keynote speaker, Mr. Arvind Kumar, sir. He is PhD Scholar of Politics of Department of Politics and IR, Royal Holloway, University of London. And the topic for today's session is academic writing, the introduction of academic writing. So I always believe that the students who belong to the marginalized communities and basically the first generation learner, when they got the opportunity to enter in the prestigious institutes like PEACE, IITs or APU, whenever they after entering the campus, they have to write the exam papers that are the midterm paper or intern paper. In that, academic writing is so much important because there is so much difference between academic writing and our daily writing. So academic writing plays a vital role in terms of students progress, paper writing, research paper writing. So today's session is going to a very useful session, especially for the students who belong to the non-English background, and they just started they are improving they just started improving their English skills. So I hope today's session will be very interactive and very knowledgeable also. So let's start the session, and after the session we can ask the questions, and you can write your question in the chat box so that I could ask that question to the sir. And I request everyone, please, if possible, switch on all your camera so that Arvind Kumar sir will also can look on you all, and he will also understand you. He can also hear from you. So yeah, let's start the session. Over to you, sir, and I'm welcoming you again. Thank you.
Hello, Harsal. Thank you for this wonderful introduction, and thank you, team of Eklavya, for especially Raju Kendre and other Prasant for inviting me. Means they were discussing me since long that on some issues I should speak to, I should interact to you guys, and finally we are here. So I hope this is first session and means introductory session. So I will just means today I have not planned to discuss some technical issues in which are in academic writing, but in this session, in first session, I would try to just discuss about the issues of writing, and then we'll try to get the feedback from you, means those who have joined. What are the issues which they think that should be covered in this series of events. So when I started studying, means I started studying particularly higher education, and started doing masters. So initially I had done my graduation from JNU in School of Languages. At that time also I was not, means like so many students, and I was not well versed in writing actually. Was not trained enough how in writing essays and answer script and all those things. But this was not case with me only, but this was case with most of the students who were either first generation learner or students who were basically who were from marginalized communities. All set of students faced these kind of problems when I was in Jawaharlal Nehru University. And since we were evolving some mechanisms through which we can solve our problems, so we talked to one of very senior professor, Professor Sona Jharia Minj, and at that time, Professor Sukhdev Thorat was, I think, ICSSR chairman, and previously he was in UGC. So he has given quite a lot of fund. So we discussed with Professor Minj, who was the chairperson of Equal Opportunity Office. She directed that there should be an special cell, and those special cell was for linguistic empowerment cell, and then one another cell was established which was for statistical and computational empowerment cell. So two areas we had thought that these two areas should be improvised, and some courses were launched in JNU. I attended some of the courses, but as you know, in higher educational institutions, if something is not formal, part of administration, later it gets abandoned. And also, while studying there, I noticed that although students from marginalized communities face such problem, they are most probably they would not be able to write and read long papers. They get lost in academic universities. Where should we approach? What are the processes which should be done? And particularly when you have very less time, like 1 year or 2 years, everything can't be covered in short span of time. So that is how we started working. Like I, along with some of my friends, we started working, and gradually one set of things from where I started working, my writing style was one particular issue was basically linguistic empowerment cell. Working with me, attending courses of linguistic empowerment cell. So, and later, nowadays, you might be knowing that since masters, I started writing in newspapers. Since masters, I started writing in newspaper. Prior to that, I was very much afraid of writing. I can remember in my BA third year or BA second year, I wrote an essay of 1500 words and without changing paragraph. So a whole essay was written in one paragraph. Somehow, it was written. But then people started suggesting me, like seniors, okay, you have to change paragraph X, Y, Z. So many things they suggested. So, but from MA onward, and gradually it got improved. Even still we are improving. That's not a big deal. Everyone improves the writing. Writing skill is a continuous process which needs to be evolved. And there are certain components in writing skills. It is a skill which needs to be acquired or which needs to be learned. If you postpone, someone postpone, अच्छा ठीक है, आज नहीं अब हम अगले जुलाई से जो है हमारे पास टाइम हो जाएगा, then we will be working on this. That time, वो अगला जुलाई या अगला month will never come. And I have seen my friends and colleagues who had that sort of problem. That July or that May or that June never came in their life. And even though they completed somehow masters, even MPhil they completed, but they do not know how to write. Some of them, even I can suggest that when they write, they plagiarize around 60%, 70% plagiarism gets reported in their writing because they did not work well. They did not pay enough attention on writing skill, improving writing skill. So improving writing skill is nowadays, it has huge importance because all research and everything, everywhere you will find this problem. And Besides this, nowadays I means continuously get queries from aspirants of civil service, and they are also facing the same problem. And problem is this: writing skill. They do not know how to write long answer. One reason why people do not know means one reason from where this thing is coming, because at the school level nowadays there is too much focus on objective type questions. So when there is too much focus on objective type question or short question, small 2-line question, 3-line question, that is means culminating into one set of inefficiency, and that is means non-learning of means writing skill. And you can say it is a skill gap which our young generation is severely facing. And some of students who takes admission in foreign universities, you might be knowing at the lower level of education, nowadays these universities are offering a preparatory course. So for take example, if you have to take, someone from India has to take admission in graduation, then they will be given a preparatory course. 1 year, they would be taught all these essential skills. Then next year you would begin their graduation. This is how things are means going on here. But uh, but in those who remain in India, uh, they that problem remains with them for forever. Very few people are able to overcome from this shortcoming, and that is about or this sort of disability, which is about the lack of skill for academic writing. So how academic writing can be improved means in general, or whatever I would be speaking, I would be speaking from my own experience. How I tried to means improve my academic writing skill, and later on some of you might basically work on or adopt that sort of strategy. It is good way, means instead of telling you like this is MLA style, this is that style, this is those style, better thing would be that I should tell you the my story, how I improved my writing skill. So I tried to adopt 2-3 approaches, and one set of approach was because I came from means uh, I came from North Indian state, Uttar Pradesh. But although I was taught in English medium school since means ninth class, but issue was that even teachers used to teach English in their regional language. English was taught in Hindi, what I used to say. So uh, I have never written properly, means any long paragraph XYZ. Just somehow we used to memorize application and this that thing, so that somehow we can get pass examination. But later, after means clearing those examinations, what I did, I took a coaching, and someone from somebody has told me, I can't remember the name of that person. He has told me that you should take a proper course on English grammar. 2 month, 3 months, 4 months course you should take on English grammar, and that will basically uh, through that course you would be able to know the structure of sentences, how means one sentence can be made in different ways. And I took that course initially, but I can tell you that was not, that course was necessary but not sufficient for means writing. So with one course on English for 3 months, I was able to at least means I was not afraid of the sentences, although though they might be written in very long sentences X Y Z, but that remove means that course infused confidence in me that I can, if I would be knowing the meaning of all these words, I would be able to decipher the complete meaning of those sentences accurately. And that was through one set of course. Then, when I joined Jawaharlal Nehru University, we were offered a course, and that course was on means English. And one of my teacher, she was teaching in Delhi University, and there, she advised that means like previously when we were in classrooms in before ninth or 10th classroom, there used to be a textbook called workbook for English. So she advised us that actually those set of textbooks are designed for normal students, for ordinary students. But when you are in UG or PG, then you should start looking for advanced text. So any textbook which you have would have advanced version. So like I can remember she has advised us that you should look on. There was something called Martin having kind of textbooks he had suggested, and she said that you guys should start working with this. These things were happening when I was actually in BA third year or uh, BA third year and MA. These things were in BA third year. So that was the one way actually through which means that book helped me to decipher the complex structure or complex sentences which are written in academic writing and so many other places, newspapers and at many places. All these things were just happening through means uh, how one should be able to know means under these things were happening only for means knowing means how sentences or how structures are framed. These were just those concerns. But at the later stage, one of my friend, who is nowadays bureaucrat, Indian Economic Service Officer, he was my roommate. So he advised me that you should purchase a book called Word Power Made Easy, which is written by Norman Lewis. It was very cheap book, I think 200, 300 book, 200, 300 rupees book. And one special instruction he gave me, and he told me that in order to uh, like uh, frequently you will come while reading newspaper or some academic writing, Saina Kuanan are indispensable. This sort of complex words which one comes across. So he told me that you should purchase Norman Lewis book. And only instruction which he gave me that when you start working with the book, read it from beginning. So you should follow it like a clinical advice. So if like when you go to doctors, doctor told me कि doctor tells you कि okay, ये दवा इतने बजे खाना है, ये दवा इतने बजे खाना है, इसको इसके बाद खाना है, इसको गर्म पानी से खाना है, इसको दूध के साथ खाना. So that sort of things. So he told me that actually you have to work on that way. So if book says that you have to, a book says that okay, every day you have to work on one section. So you have to work on one section you should do in one day. It should not be the case that we are doing on Sunday, we will do 4 exercise, and Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, I will not do any sort of exercise. So that advice he gave, and I purchased that book and worked means on that book the way it was designed. And he has told me that actually it is designed scientifically, so it will work only when you will follow the advice which has been written for the readers of this. So I followed that advice, and then that helped quite a lot. Means quite a lot that book helped. Means that helped in building my vocabulary. Word power made easy helped me building vocabulary. So 2 things I told you. One is that knowing the sentence structures, complex set of sentence structures, that you would be able to know only when you will read some important, like some textbooks which are standard textbooks which are written for grammar. And those textbooks means there are different layers of textbook: primary layer, secondary layer, and then advanced layer. What happens? Most of the students are taught primary level textbook. They have never seen advanced level textbook. So because they have not read advanced level textbooks, that's why they fail to understand what is written in the book. And even later on, in later phase, writing the chapters also, they fail to understand the text. And second thing is that means one set is grammatical portion, sentence structure, framing, all these sort of things. Then second issue comes about building vocabulary. So one item which I have worked on normal levels, and I later discovered that someone has turned on their. Can you turn off it? Yeah. So second thing which I would suggest now to students, and that is there is a book by Byron's, and its name is GRE. Byron's GRE. That book is for preparing GRE, and that book has 6,000 words. So those who appear in GRE, they have to memorize those 6,000 words. And I would suggest all students, whether you are preparing for GRE or you are not preparing for GRE, or I would suggest everyone who is planning, who thinks that he has to become a good writer, means in terms of academic writing, all sort of writing, they should purchase that book and either purchase that book or take printout of those books. They have arranged 50 words. So like one day you have to memorize 50 words, next day you have to memorize another set of 50 words, then another day you have to memorize next 100 words, then once again coming back simultaneously, repeating those exercises. So if today you memorize 150 words, then tomorrow you have memorized another set of 50 words, then next Monday another 15 words, and simultaneously repeating previous one. So in first one, how much you were able to memorize? What were the words which you could not remember? Yeah. So this is one way means students can build up a very good means amount of vocabulary that will means later it can pay you dividend. So means two ways I would suggest for building vocabulary. Then comes on writing. And for writing, usually people do not follow, just they roam here and there, looking that, okay, whether I should be able to find out like how we should work on, what are issues which one should do. But what one should try means all these things can't be handled simultaneously together, the issues which I am suggesting, but you can make a proper plan for 1 year or 1.5 years. In first 3 months, I have to finish this much amount of work I have to do. In next 3 months, I will be doing this set of things, and then next 3 months I will be doing next four means this much amount of work. Yeah, so grammatical portion I talked, then vocabulary portion I talked, then comes the issue of basically writing. So within writing skills, there are different kind of issues which one has to deal. So like one set of essays are just descriptive essays, that you were told that कि आप मुंबई टिस से निकलिए और पानवेल स्टेशन है, कौन सा स्टेशन है, which station is there nearby, Govandi. So you should go to walk towards Govandi and see what are the things there and write down about them. Those set of things are called as descriptive essay. And another set are called argumentative essay. So many kind of writings are there. So to knowing about essential components of different set of writings, there are textbooks which are available. And one good textbook I would suggest, even I can provide you means copy of those textbook. I have means soft copy of that book. It was provided by some senior faculty, and it is very useful. I think it is available online also, and it is Oxford Essential Writings, one very good textbook. I would suggest that one should read that book once, miss whole from beginning to end, and then you would be able to know what are the essential considerations which should be taken care of writing. So this is means that kind of work means with the Oxford Essential Writing. I can provide you means hard copy of that book. Now, apart from all these things, academic writings are means these are the issues which are writing component. So means writing involves means even academic writing or all those sort of things involve all these issues goes with that. But academic writing is much more about framing arguments and refuting arguments. So one should know also how to make argument and how to refute arguments. And for knowing those things, one needs to know the logic. And there is very good book on logic, and its name is Introduction to Scientific Logic by I.M. Kopi. And that book is in two parts. So first part would be telling you about, first part is actually essential for any kind of students. A second part is not useful at all. In first part, you will find they have given complex set of essays, complex set of paragraphs, and how meanings are drawn from those paragraphs. All those set of exercises are given there. But this comes after the means issues which you have handled, means after eliminating the problems which you face in your daily life. Now, coming on these things, there was one more issue, even you might be knowing about all these issues, like means you know this, you know grammar, you know word, and you know how sentences are framed. All these things you would be knowing. But then comes about means everyone has hesitation whether I should write or not. I should not write. How people will feel if I write and if there is something is wrong in my writing. This sort of issue students frequently faces. And nowadays, I think social media has given very good opportunity. And that opportunity is that if you feel about something, about some issue, one should try to write one paragraph or two paragraphs. Either a small paragraph you can easily write. And later, you will notice that after writing 4 or 5 months, you will notice that, okay, there is some improvement in writing skill. Because all these things comes with the training. If you have training, you would be able to improve. And if you do not practice, you would not be able to improve. So smaller, like small steps are required for larger for going on larger journey. So one set is like writing on social media, and try to modify the sentences. If you wrote like one small paragraph, 5-line or 6-line paragraph, you notice, and then try to modify that if there is any wrong, any issue got reported with paragraph. Because writing is also about communicating your idea. And when you will be writing, every person is able to understand what he or she has written. But issue is that whether other person has been able to understand properly or not the message which you wanted to communicate through your writing. That is prime concern. And with these small posts like 300, 400 posts, you would be able to assess yourself that whether I am able to communicate to the people or not, or how effectively I am able to communicate to the people. This is one set of issues which I would suggest. Second set of things which I would suggest, that you should keep, everyone should keep diary. Nowadays we have laptop, but I used to keep diary. So for example, if any issue gets reported, prime concern of mine was to note down in the diary and note down what are the supporting arguments in that issue and what are the opposing arguments of that issue. So supporting and opposing argument. One thing with nowadays, because it is you have laptop and computer, and it has given huge advantage in terms of writing. So for example, if any issue which you got reported, you try to write in 300, 400 words, you can easily write about this. So for example, nowadays there is controversy on burning meat on this during Navratri. Okay, so you came to know about this incident just as a reporter, anyone, means more or less everyone, can write down, okay, there is this news from New Delhi, municipal corporation has uh, banned meat, selling of meat during Navratra, or these people have demanded. This is one set of things which you can write, and it is very easy. One day, suppose you decided, and one day you wrote just in 500 words, 400 words, you wrote about this incident in your laptop in Word, one simple word profile, word page, you wrote these things. कि जो है these issues were reported. Now, next day, you can think in terms of what are the arguments which are in support of this incident, means such banning. So that thing you can think. Today you just wrote in 400 words कि this issue has been reported, and it has been reported because of this thing. And tomorrow, a day after tomorrow, when you, because you have already written in 400, 500 words. So tomorrow or day after tomorrow, you can think in terms of this, okay, what are the arguments which are in support of these incidents? So you can note down. Arguments can be bad argument. It can be basically, or bad, it can be bad, or it can be distasteful, but you can note down there. Okay, these are set up the things which have been said in support of this argument. Then this is second day. Now you would find that you began with 500 words, and next day your essay is 1000 words. And then next day you can think of, or 2 or 3 days after, you can think of what are the arguments which has been given against such. And that will increase your word length in 1500. And then in the end of all these things, you can write about what do you think about these incidents, whether those who are opponents or those who are supporters, where each, what are the weakness and strongness of both position. That can be your means the that can be your basically. Someone is, can you mute? Someone's mic is on, so can you turn off, please?
Yes, sir. I muted him.
Okay. So this is how basically these are called as baby steps, which are required for going on larger journey. In addition to this, you can also work on one more means steps which you can look for improving your writing skill, and it will boost your confidence also. Every newspaper publishes a 200 or 300 word letters. So you can also try to write letters and send them on their email and wait whether they are ready to publish or not. Sometimes they publish. And if it will get published, it will boost your confidence and break the hesitation of writing. So breaking the hesitation of writing and boosting confidence, these are two essential components of writing. So these are some of the steps which you can take. I think it is half an hour, how I have spoken half an hour. I would like to be, instead of me such session to be in monologue, I would like to have some interaction. And with this, I conclude my presentation, and we would welcome to hear your experiences, your problems which you guys are facing, or other sort of things, so that in upcoming future we can talk means in more complex ways. So I thought that it was just a first time, so I would keep things as simple as possible, so that an ordinary person would be able to understand what I am trying to say. So you can speak in Hindi. I do not know Marathi, so either you can speak in English or you can speak in Hindi. Even you can use mix of the language also. That's not big deal. Okay, over to
Thank
you,
you
Harsh.
so much, sir. Yeah. So it was very great session, sir. I would like to encourage students, please, if you have any questions, you can ask to the sir. Uh, Anyone have question, please raise your hands and ask the question if possible. Yes, yes, Arshad. Go ahead.
First of all, good evening, sir, and all. It was really a great session, sir.
Good evening.
I have yes,
Uh,
sir. I have a question that there is
you said
always a there
you should
there is
turn off
always a
your mic.
self doubt.
Mm.
There is
You
always
should.
a self doubt when we are writing anything.
Mm.
So, sir, how to tackle with this problem?
Yes. Means biggest enemy of not writing is self-doubt, and thinking that in first day itself you would write it accurately. So like when I visit my Facebook post, which I wrote in 2000, which I used to wrote in 2010 and 2011, nowadays I get side, okay, कि मैं इतना खराब लिखता था at that time. And so many people used to call me and text me कि मत लिखो, you should not write all this sort of thing. So peer pressure and other sort of pressure are in such a way that whenever you should start writing, you should write in very perfect way. And that set of peer pressure prevents one's in learning of writing and even in reading. So that is why I said that you have to develop that courage कि आपको small baby step you have to take. So if you are writing a 400-word Facebook page, you should be ready to make addition when there are comments, or 2 days after today you wrote, 2 days after you realize, oh, उसमें तो ये गलत हो गया था. So you can edit that and change that, make addition in that. That would be actually, it would be means man learns through their mistake. Even every animal, rational being, learns through the mistake. And if you are not committing mistake, you would not be able to learn. But once mistakes are committed, then you would be able to find out, okay, what are the problems which I have done last time, and next time I will not done. So in order to break the self-hesitation, that's what you are saying, you have to start writing small paragraph, like 500 paragraph, 400 paragraph, and see whether there is improvement. And also you should try to either, hello, you can discuss with your friends, you can share your writings with them and get their feedback and see if they are where you have gone wrong, what are the things which needs to be improved, areas which need to be worked out. Those set of things you can do with your peers, from amongst yourself, from your colleague, your friend, and other people.
Sir, I have one more question.
Yes.
Sir, when I am writing, so I do self-assess my writing, what I am writing. Okay. The problem is that if suppose I don't find anybody who is capable of in my friend circle who is capable of reviewing my paragraphs and my writing whatever. So if there is any critic who is available, so it is always good. So how to tackle this problem as well?
See, it is not means a easy problem. It is big problem. That's why means at the higher level when you will come for. So one important thing I before moving on all these issues means discussing larger thing. I would say that if today you are writing and you yourself is reading the same your write up after 1 week, you would be able to find out 5 or 6 errors. So 5, 6 errors which you have committed, those errors you would be able to find out by themselves. So one should not, like, if you work today and simultaneously you started making improvement, you would not be able to make improvement. Improvement should be made from yourself. First thing is that you yourself should make improvement. 2, 3 stages of improvement. In first stage, you wrote on laptop like what I do. If some newspaper says that you have to submit an article, I quickly write the article, means without considering that where should be paragraph should end or where should be comma or where should be full stop. And then after 1 hour, I do second reading. So in second reading, I fix the things. Okay, this idea should be here, this idea should be here, this idea should be there. And then third reading, I do through some other way. Then it is sent to editor. Those editors make edition and they send us back. So this is how writing is done. So first thing is that you yourself should be your evaluator of your writing, and that you would be able to do in one reading, 2 reading, 3 readings. You yourself will make improvement, and another person should be looked for reviewing when you have already done your all necessary work. So for example, आपने लिखा ही नहीं, means आपने एक राउंड में लिख के लैपटॉप पे टाइप करके सेंड कर दिया, so other person will get irritated. अच्छा क्यों हमारे जो बिना ग्राउंड वर्क किया हमारे पास भेज दिया गया. So first thing is that you should do, then try to find out your friends. And important thing is, when you say you are not able to find out capable friends who can make improvement, it is because of the friend circle which you make. So usually we make friends who are of our age group. So you would not be able to learn too much things from people who are of your age group. There should be mixed set of friend circle in which you have the people who are of higher age group. Probably they would need me. Sometimes they will need your help also. So if you are ready to offer help to them in their need, of course they would also be repaying you. But things does not go in one way. Things do not go in one way. Like if you are thinking that, okay, I will send write-ups to someone and another person is bound to make correction. That never works out. You have to build up such a rapport with the people.
Thank you, sir.
Rushi Kasba has also one question. He has raised hand. Rushi, are you there?
You can turn on your video.
Sir, here his light is gone, so that's why I'm not able.
Okay. No issue.
Sir, I have a question. When I was reading the English, that time I don't have a much built vocabulary.
Yes.
But there is a scenario I have to read in my some applications in my Titans of Social Sciences, DAF, or so. How can I tackle with this application like that?
Pardon? Can you repeat once again?
So how can I tackle this application to do less time?
Within less time.
Yes, sir. Yes.
So you have to apply in Tata Institute of Social Science. What you are saying?
Yeah, I have applied it.
You have applied in Tata Institute of Social Science, and now you will be required to basically to present something in written form to them.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Yeah. So best thing is that means what we used to do when we are in graduation, seeking help from those who are already there, who are already in the institute. So, and those you can reach such people through different organizations, different social organizations. Students remain committed and find out people who are working there. Since they would be there, so they know the logic, how applications are written, how standard procedure, what is called statement of purpose should be written. All these things, the people who are working there, they would be able to provide you. They would be able to guide you. And often people do that. Means I had applied in this, and people have helped me. That means in framing the question, or framing statement of purpose, and but they ask something else also, some other documents they also ask. I can't remember nowadays, but that you need to find out someone who is there in Tata Institute of Social Science.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Sir, thank you, Rushi. Someone has requested that, sir, all the books mentioned by you while interacting, can you please add the names in chat box so that it will students can write their names.
Okay,
They
I can
can take the
just,
screenshot.
yeah, I can.
Till now, then anybody has any questions?
Essential writing. This is one book. I can't. No. One other book.
Okay.
What else?
Okay.
And advanced English. I think Martin. Yes. There can be so many books, but means thing is that you should work on some any book. I would suggest means 3-4 books which are essential. I advise. Yeah.
I think almost everything covered, and all the students had got the answers of their question, and no one is asking. So yeah, we go to further on in the session.
Is
So,
there
sir,
any question in chat box?
No, sorry, it was just one question that they wanted the names of the books. So yeah, today's session, sir, was very interactive. We got the idea about what is exactly the academic writing is, why it is ultimately matters, the importance of grammar courses. It helps us to understand the importance of understanding what is the sentence, exactly what the sentence means. We also talk about the reading. What is the importance of advanced reading and how can we cover that? We also learn that academic writing is not just a one-day process. It is the day-by-day process. And if we want to write a good academic English or academic paper, then we must practice every day. And yeah, at the end you uh, said the names of the books which will improve us, which will help to improve us our writing skills. So yeah, it was a very good session. We didn't feel like that it is a first session. It was not just an interactive but also knowledgeable session. So yeah, on the behalf of whole Eklavya team, I'm thanking you again for today's session, sir. And on the
Yeah,
behalf of Team Eklavya,
thank
we are
you.
now ending
And
the.
what you can do, you can take feedback from the people, what people
Yes, sir.
wants that which should be covered in the upcoming session. So probably in 1 hour, I I would be means I can uh, take 1 hour to, yeah, someone Harshad Ingle is raising
Yes, sir.
his
Sir.
hand.
Go ahead.
So
Go ahead.
in upcoming 1 or 2 sessions, I can discuss some of important issue, or even can give a small presentation
Yes.
on some issue like how to work with MS Word or like why that those things I can just talk on 1 day. 1 day I can just talk on working on MS Word, and then likewise you would be able.
Sure,
Yeah,
sir.
Harshad.
Arshad,
How can I reach out to you, sir? If any email ID or something?
Uh, yeah, but one thing you have to remember that you text me only when you have done your groundwork. So usually people do not do things and they just send their write up to me. So that you guys should avoid. First thing is that you have to leave no stone unturned from your side in making it improvement of your writing, and then
Sir,
later on someone else can advise.
sir,
Yes.
there is one app, Grammarly. It is useful or not in academic writing? Will it
See,
help us?
all these apps are useful only when
yeah.
you know the things. When you do not know writing, how can Grammarly on any other app would be able to help you? So those apps, the means they comes in scenario only when you know writing. If you are able to write 1,500, 2,000 words, then you can take help of Grammarly and other sort of apps. But uh, if you do not know writing, then you can't handle. And academic writing is not just merely those things. There are much more complex issues are involved in academic writing, which Grammarly would not be able to solve, or any
Sir,
other.
sir, is there any way to send our written articles to any publishing house as a naive writer, means as a beginner, if you want to publish something?
Yes, as a beginner means you can first you should try to reach one another big problem with means before moving on your question. One another big problem with writing is that people first time they want to get published in big newspaper or big platforms. So that never happens. You have to start from small publications. So like Youth Ki Awaaz is open platform. You can publish on Youth Ki Awaaz. Even you can make edition on those. Likewise, small publication you should begin, and after 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, you would be able to catch up those things. Besides all these things, one more things I want to add on Instagram. Hello, hello.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
You
Yes,
are
sir.
audible.
Yeah, on Instagram, do you guys use Instagram? Who uses Instagram? Can you raise your hand? How many people use Instagram? One, 1, 2, 3. So, okay, more or less everyone uses Instagram. Yeah, so on Instagram there are some like some accounts people have made, and those accounts are for teaching English, writing and vocabulary, all these elements you will find. So today, if you will try to find out some handle there. So for example, you try to find out at the rate like English grammar, or at the rate English word, or learning English. You will find so many things there on Instagram, and try to follow some of those handles, 2-3 handles. They regularly update like 5 words. They would be updating you. These are 5 words. Uses how those 5 or 6 words are used. So like I can show you. There is Instagram @ yes, there is English grammar vocabulary app. You can see page, and you can find out they have updated lot, like they have updated top 100 phrasal verb. What is go on, carry out, set up, pick up, go back, all these sort of things they have updated. And then they have updated like irregular plural verbs. So person, people, food, feed, these set of things are going on in Instagram. And then likewise there are some other good handle. There is one good handle called General English. So yeah, General English, and there is some lady called English with Adriana. You can find out, follow her. So many means so many platforms are on Instagram. So you can means some of you can use that platform also. So using social media effectively. So instead of just relying on photo, putting pictures and watching videos, some of things you can learn from there also. There is no harm in learning 4 or 5 words from Instagram in next 2-3 days, how they are used in novel ways. And these things will build up, and later you would be beneficial of all this.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Anybody, any questions? Okay. So yeah, almost. Okay, sir. Let's meet in again next session. And I will try to get the feedbacks of all the students, and we'll reach out to you for the next topics, sir. Thank you again for the today's session, and it was a very great session and very informative also. Thank you again. So yeah, let's end the session.
Okay.
Thank you all. Thank you for joining.
Good night, sir.